most Google agencies, and this is what's sad. And dude, this isn't even an anecdotal observation because I've done so much agency coaching and I've seen inside of so many Google agencies. So for my listeners, most Google agencies that I know, and I know a lot of them, don't understand themselves how reliant they are on your top of funnel.
Right.
They look at their conversion data and they think, "Oh, look, we did that." And what's really dangerous about that is the other thing that nobody knows, and by nobody I mean myself included, is the timeline that it takes to really generate that conversion path. Because when you turn off, and it's not just Meta, I mean it's any top of funnel, right? Radio, television, newspaper, door knockers, bandit signs, billboards, direct mail, any top of funnel, it could be 3, 6, 9 months before you see the impact in the bottom of the funnel. And you're not going to remember, oh, dude, you remember 9 months ago when we turned off our Facebook awareness campaign? You're just going to think the market shifted, something changed, quick, modify the offer. So no, I think this is a critical thing for, if you're a Google ad agency, it's a critical thing for you to understand and account for. If you're any top of funnel, man, I'd be fighting either to own Google or to make sure you're integrated with and synergized well with whoever's managing the Google. Because if you're fighting for budgets, then that's just a snake eating its own tail.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the beauties, not to tout Wicked Reports, but Wicked Reports does have an infinite look back period. So you can actually see a campaign 9 months ago for Facebook that now is yielding Google sales today. Like it gets smarter as the longer you use it. And these guys are Wicked Reports like super users, which is great. The point is that, if you have that kind of visibility, it makes the case even stronger that your Meta, Google, Snapchat, TikTok should all be under one roof as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, or well synergized. I'll say is the
or
guy
well
that doesn't belong
synergized
under somebody's roof. But I play nice is the thing. I mean, we've got shared clients, and we're the first to say, hey, if you have more budget, don't give it to us yet. Go top of funnel with it. And if that's the way to test this too. Go to your Google agency today. Let's say that you have one agency managing your Google. Go to your Google agency today with more budget and say, what do we do? If their knee-jerk reaction is just to give you more Google campaigns, they're thinking myopically in scope, and they're not a good agency. What they should be doing is, maybe there is more money they can take and spend. That's great. But what they should be doing is looking at the full spectrum of your advertising model and where you spend your money. And if they're not talking about other things, maybe opening up YouTube, obviously Meta, and then things beyond that too, like what are you doing organically? What do you do from an influencer perspective? What are you doing socially? Then I would question their efficacy, because all they know how to do is log into ads.google.com, and they're just creative and intelligent button pushers. They're not thinking on a CMO level.
Yeah.
Dude, ask your employees that. Go to your employee. If you're a CMO or director of marketing, go to your internal employee, your Google ad employee, the employee managing your Google ad account, and say, hey, what do we do with extra budget? And if that employee is only looking at Google, they're thinking incorrectly. And that's just behavior to correct. It's a new paradigm. Say, hey, I need you, Google guy, to be thinking about the full spectrum of traffic. And that's true for every channel. Facebook guy, I need you to not think just top of funnel, also think bottom of funnel, because now it's better LTV, better retention, better ascension, better upsell, better OTO. So everybody needs to be thinking about the entire story, because otherwise your Facebook guy is just going to start the story really well. Your Google guy is going to end the story really well, but those things aren't going to connect in a symbiotic fashion. I felt like I got real preachy there, so y'all can just cut as much of that out as you want.
No, because I made the case for it all being under one roof. And I think I think that's an easy solution, but I do think communication between the two sides is really essential. And I think, we share a fair number of clients that works really, really well, So, I mean, I 100% agree with what you're saying. Like the next level of all this is if they were being co-managed, Google and Meta together, it's like, all right, what can we do super top of funnel to feed more of the bottom of the funnel? Like, can we do more brand awareness campaigns, video view campaigns, like how to, using the tool campaigns on YouTube or on Facebook, and then tying that back in, provided there's a click in this particular case with Wicked Reports, tying it back into ROAS, like how it actually whittles itself down and goes into the funnel and winnows and finally does become a purchase. Like that's the bigger play. It's like take a step back and because when you reach, and we talked about this in a previous show, it's like you can stay in that conversion window for a long period of time and build a pretty nice business. Yeah, your high intent keywords, obviously your brand name keywords on the Google site, which you have to siphon off the traffic that people are just going to Google your stuff. They see it on Facebook or they see it somewhere or on a billboard or wherever it happens to be. You got to have that. But then your conversion campaigns on Meta, and this is something that we're really pushing because we see it really starting to take effect and it's backed up by scientific data, is that on Meta, your scale really happens when you start going top of funnel and not trying to get them to convert, getting some level of awareness or consideration. Kobe, you did a great case study on this last month, which we'll leave links in the show notes to. We've done tons of YouTube videos on this where you're really creating your own demand by putting ad spend on non-converting ads. Like what we're talking about here is like straight to conversion, right? Put in $1, get a ROAS, in this case, lower your CAC, which is great. But how do you take that to the next level? You actually do it with more top of funnel content, which is harder to pin a return on ad spend on immediately. Because as we know from these studies that we went through extensively in that podcast from a few weeks back, it typically takes anywhere from 3 to 6 months, if not longer.